Well, ever since the recent breakdown in the latest U.S.-led round talks between Israel and the Palestinians, both sides have been taking steps to keep that deep freeze in place. The latest move has Israel imposing tax sanctions against the Palestinian Authority, while the Palestinians continue to take unilateral steps towards statehood. Political observers are raising concerns that any kind of lasting deal may be months, even years away. Former aide to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and best-selling author Joel Rosenberg, who's written a new book called Auschwitz Escape, says John Kerry's charges blaming Israel for that breakdown is going too far.
I'm not so sure that it's 100% dead. I suspect there's a lot of motivation, particularly for the Israelis. We'll see for the Palestinians whether, to try. As much as it would be nice to just throw up your hand and say, these guys won't play ball. So I suspect we're going to see some more efforts to try to make it work. But in terms of Secretary Kerry, I mean, honestly, this is ridiculous, bordering on infuriating. The Palestinian leadership walked away from the table. They began to sign 15 international agreements, unilaterally declaring them a state, in total abrogation of the framework of the agreement, which is the only settlement will be a negotiated one. Furthermore, Israel has put actual concrete steps forward to show goodwill. They've released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, including terrorists, with blood on their hands. What exactly has, Palestinian Chairman Mahmoud Abbas given? There's been talk, but they haven't done anything concrete. So I think for Secretary Kerry to turn on an ally and say Israel is responsible for the breakdown of these talks, first of all, it's not helpful. And I don't think it's true.
I mean, he couched it afterwards saying, both sides have shortcomings in terms of where these talks were going. But, clearly he made it very clear that Israel was responsible by virtue of not implementing the prisoner release.
Well, what Israel was feeling was the Palestinians are signaling with demonstrable activity of signing these international agreements that they're leaving. So we would just be giving away prisoners for nothing, Israel felt. And what's the Palestinians doing? They're doing nothing but saying they're going to go to international status for unilateral.
Well, the Palestinians have filed for that with the United Nations, and they've already agreed to sign with the Geneva Conventions and so following those treaties.
Why Israelis feel like why should they give actual terrorists and put them on the street for nothing? And I think that's a compelling question. Look, one of the big problems here is the lack of trust at a fundamental core level between the Obama administration and the government of Israel. There is something deeply broken there. And it goes back, it seems personal, and yet you'd like to think that, and it's not that the Obama administration is doing nothing helpful to Israel, helping with missile defenses and so forth, but you have to build trust.
How can you do that at this point, knowing that both sides aren't talking at the moment?
Well, that's why they make the big bucks, right? I mean, what you don't do is tell your best friend and ally that you're at fault when there's a case that both are making certain decisions that, at least the White House and State Department think are unhelpful. But I don't think by blaming one side you build trust. And I think that the president went out initially and said that settlements are the whole problem, and he's going to just knuckle down, this a few years ago, on Israel to stop with these settlements. Well, the most recent issue of settlements is a Jewish neighborhood in Jerusalem. So the administration keeps seeming to focus on areas that I think they're making a mistake. They've got the attention in the wrong area.
I want to ask you specifically about Iran and where we're headed with Iran in this situation, with it trying really hard now to move forward with its nuclear capabilities. How serious a threat is it at this moment, at this time?
Iran is the most important issue in the Middle East. The Palestinian issue is important, but it pales in comparison to the mullahs of Iran getting nuclear weapons, attaching them to high-speed ballistic missiles, and firing them at Israel. They could do in 6 minutes what Adolf Hitler took 6 years to do, and that is kill 6 million Jews if they get the bomb. So this is the problem. We took a poll recently upon the preparation for the release of my new book, The Auschwitz Escape, we took a poll and found out that 80% of Americans believe that Iran will bring about a second Holocaust. That's what Americans say. 80% say a second Holocaust if Iran gets the bomb, if the world lets it. So the question is, will the United States and the Allied powers let them? They are worried, they're scared, and they might take preemptive action if no one else will.
And one more note about Joel's new book. It's a powerful look at 4 men that he calls his new heroes. And you can see more of that interview on our website. Go to www.foxnews.com/ANHQ to see more with Joel.